Okay, so today the talk's about competition grooming versus salon grooming. Now, to be real honest, if this dog were to come into my salon, I mean, I don't do competition grooming at the shop whatsoever unless they pay for it and if I have the time on the dog. So if this dog comes to me, I would use a lot of snap-on combs on the dog, and I would do competition grooming / pet grooming, so I can do a lot more clipper work on the body, and so all I have left to do is like the actual scissor work on the actual legs. Because it's like people say, when they see like top groomers, believe me, no top groomers do necessarily competition work in their shop unless they're getting paid for it, because we only have so much time, don't we? So in our shop, which is a school, dogs come in at 9:30, go home at 12:30, and the 12:30 dogs come in, they go home at 3:30. So you have like a 2-hour window to get as much work done as possible, okay? So, do you get a comb too?
No,
God's sake, yes, hurry up, go on, run. I'm a diva, aren't I? So, this dog, the lady competed with this morning, and you know what? She did a real, how long have you been grooming?
5 years.
And how many competitions you done?
Well, 2 a year.
Okay, so she's done 2 competitions a year for 5 years. The most important thing is when you compete and you don't place, never just leave without getting a critique from the judge, okay? Because you have to do, whether you think the judges are right or wrong, if you're going to compete under that judge in the future, you want to try and do what they've told you to do. Do you understand what I mean? So try and always get critiques and have an open mind. As a groomer, you got to realize, but there's a million ways again from A to B. Okay, so never ever say no. There's no one way of doing anything. Did you get me my spray? I'm just joking. It's fine. Okay, so. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to critique the dog, and the first thing I'm going to do as a judge, and you always look at the positive, and you know what, there's not a lot wrong with this dog, it just has to be balanced and more extreme. And as a judge, there should be no personal opinions. So if I personally like something to be a certain way, that has to take a back seat, because I'm not grooming the dog, she groomed the dog, and I have to look at what she's done, okay? So the first thing I would say is, the scissor work is very, very nice. You've got real nice scissor work. And then what you have to look at, you've got to look at the structure of the dog. If you have all this butt here and you have all this chest here, that's making the dog this much more longer, okay? And a poodle should be square, so you want to shorten up the dog and you want to shorten up its back, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is, this is a really good secret here. If you're doing this area here, 9 times out of 10, groomers would do this like this. And that's why they're getting this hump. So what you have to do is you have to have the towel up. And this has got to be taken all the way down. Also, what you have to always remember is the actual bone structure. Now, I'm not saying to you, but you've got to study every single bone on the dog. But if you understand basic bone structure, which means this area here is a 30-degree angle, okay? I'll turn around for you guys in a minute. So this area here is 30 degrees. Now it's not looking so, it's a lot more tighter here. And you see where the top line starts, there's this much hair as opposed to this much hair. These scissors here, I'm not like pushing stuff. I don't make money by doing this either. I should do, but these are a brand new line of scissors by Simpsons. And they're 80 quid. They're like Japanese steel. Okay. Do you see the difference there now by that angle? Okay. Now, see all this hair here? Find where the bend of leg is, which is there. Hold his privates out the way. Mickey likes doing that. What do you make? Am I doing that now? I've shortened up the dog. Every single dog that you groom, if you imagine Schnauzer cut, but as opposed to doing a 7F Schnauzer cut, I'm now going to scissor that Schnauzer pattern. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah? So I'm doing this without... So when you're grooming a dog and you're thinking, well, the Poodle is done different from this dog and this dog's done different from that dog, in reality that's not true. If you look at the Airedale, Fox Terrier, Welsh Terrier, Lakeland, the haircut is practically identical apart from the head's different. And like a Shih Tzu, if you do a Shih Tzu with a snap-on comb, take out that rear like a Schnauzer. Because you've got to scissor that anyway, so why scissor it when you can just whack it off with a snap-on comb? Don't complicate things or make things more difficult. Okay, you want to cut down time. Now Poodles is, if you think about a dog, all dogs are set on parallel lines, straight lines. So when you look at German trims or dogs done in Europe, that is, what it is if you think about a dog which is a canvas, if you shave down this dog, it'll have exactly the same structure as a Doberman. So what you put on that dog of hair is your own interpretation of what the breed standard should be. Okay, so, you know, it doesn't mean it's right, and having a dog being tight here then coming out is actually incorrect, because the bone structure from there all the way down to the front leg is straight. So your lines should follow them lines also. So when people say that's not right, you're dealing with an American judge and a European judge, I try and do like a happy medium in between to try and please both judges, which sometimes is easy, sometimes isn't. He's playing on his phone, he's not allowed. I'm just joking. This is not good work, it's just quick work, okay? So don't, you know. Now years ago, or not, like 2 years ago, they were doing like a spoiler bum on a dog, which means this comes out and with a point. That is, once again, it's personal preference. It doesn't mean to say it's wrong or right, but find your judge if you're competing that likes that style. And if you have a judge, on, and like if it's me judging, punching Colin Taylor on Google, and it will show you photos of my dogs, so you'll know what my style is, okay? And it's okay if you called me 2 months before a show and said, what do you like? That's not cheating, because me telling you what I like and you doing it is two totally different things, all right? this angulation here, now you need to have a lot more flair here, so he either has the growth or he doesn't.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is really grow this out, okay?
He was in a line cut, so it was,
Okay, so it's, yeah.
he's only just been growing out. Yeah, he needs more down there.
So I'm trying to put more angulation on this dog. But you know what? You've done an awesome job. I mean, you know. And also, when you look at the back legs, you know, like a horseshoe is like this.
Yeah.
They got to be more straight. Because when you have a dog and you horseshoe its rear end, it makes it look wide in the rear. All right? Don't say a word, Michaela. I'm waiting for it. Okay, the tuck up, you can come around, look at this. The tuck up on a dog, okay, you've got the tuck up in the right place, but it should be way more extreme.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do,
Oh, I didn't know how to make it more extreme.
okay, so what you've done is, and then this area here, this should come up. Never ever think that a line should stop and start. The line from there should come in slightly, out, up, and then right into that actual under the rib cage. It's all right. It's all right. Now this is coming too like this, so we're going to change that. Now this should come to the last rib and that's when you start to come out, okay? But now we're going to come round to the front because the first thing you got to do is block your dog in. So you don't want to like start to try and finish the whole dog from the rear forward. Well, I do the rear end, do the top line, come around to the front, okay? Hello. So, stacking the dog is the most important. Never give a dog a haircut if it's not stacked correctly, okay? So I'm gonna bring its neck down. This area here, you've come too straight, so that's fine. What you can do, if you've got a snap-on comb, you can skim that in. Go a little bit slower around here. So I'm going to try and give it a little bit more chest. Can't see much lately. Okay. Bring this straight up into what you've just carved in. Okay, so now you've given the dog more neck and you push that back. Do you want to, yeah? Okay, then we're going to come back to the top line. Now, if you have a well put together dog, the worst thing you can do is leave a lot of hair on the dog. So first you've got to find a good dog. If you're going to compete with a good dog, what makes a good dog? A, it can't be overweight. B, it can't be too thin. It's got to be in good proportions. It's got to stand well on the table. So all these factors you got to look into. He's a good dog, really. But if you have a dog which is well put together, then you could run a snap-on comb and a 4-blade all the way down here. What do poodles have? Are they slab-sided or do they have Springer rib? You guys should know this. Oh, so a Springer rib means when it comes out, and flat slab-sided like a Bedlington where it's more flat. Like Springer rib. So Springer rib means you want to show Springer rib. You don't want to have it too flat. So when you're doing this, don't go whacking off this bit of hair here first. You want to go the bottom, top, and then you can round that out, because otherwise you're going to make it look like a fish. Okay? And if you go to, no, you will. If you go to Europe, all the Kerry Blues, they all got like these fish slab sides, and you want to be careful of that. So you want to go this bit, that bit, and then round that bit in. Is there any questions so far? Because I do talk a bit, so you can just ask me anything. I don't care. Well, in reason. Or should be. Are you liking it so far? You want to go back to the front? Okay. So it's far from perfect, but you get the idea what I'm talking about, correct? So it's just by taking bits shorter. Now, if I wanted to, I get a snap-on comb. I'd run it from the shoulder blades. If the dog has got a straight top line, if it's got a dip, cut that off, leave this and scissor that in. Because if you go into the snap-on comb and that dip, you're going to have a dipped dog, aren't you? So take that bit off there and then scissor that in. A 30-degree angle on here. Every single dog has 30-degree angle, even a Bedlington. The Bedlington's roach is a 30-degree angle. They shouldn't be over roach because they look like a camel, and the highest point should be right above the loin. So always keep that in mind, okay? So I'm going to do more like a German trim here. So I'm starting to come out slightly here, okay? But not too much.
Competitors, dogs under 16 inches number, you have 10 minutes left.
You're very cute, isn't she? This bit here is still too straight. You're a good boy, aren't you? Yes, you are. And this bit here, it's all right. Right. What's most important is don't try and make something perfect from the get-go. If you know, the biggest problem in the pet shop too, when you think, I always tell students to spend at least 5 minutes on one leg, and whether you're done or not, go on to the next leg, and whether you're done or not, go on to the next leg, and that means in 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes you worked on 4 legs. Then you can come back to the first thing and refine what you've done. But when you try and spend, we all do it. Me, when I was a student, like, for God's sake, I've been on this leg for 45 minutes. And you've got to keep on moving. And if you think you've screwed up, ignore it. Come back to it. Don't worry about the stuff like that, okay? Just try and, just work on, keep moving. Also, most important thing again is stacking a dog. When you have a dog and you've got a dog that's like this, when you're grooming that dog like this, when you eventually go to stack it correctly, all its skin and muscle is gonna go back into the position it should be, and the haircut's gotta be incorrect. So you gotta make sure that the dog is stacked correctly from the get-go. So you gotta bring the legs out. If you have your head up like that on a dog with a short neck, it's going to make it look shorter. It's all right, sweetheart. Angle the head like a swan and bring it up there and push the dog forward. Okay? That will make the dog look more proud in itself, and it can make the haircut look a little bit more stylized, a little bit more flashy. Now the ears. Do you normally separate the ears from the head, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right,
so what we're going to do is be careful not to cut any of that ear hair there. I hope you like what I'm going to do, but just do it. Just say, oops, I made a mistake. So you see now the arch carries on through, okay? Now I'm going to take this tighter here. It's hot in here, isn't it? Michaela, did you get me some curves? I'm just joking. I love you, Michaela. What'd you do? If you grow a little bit more hair here and bring this back a little bit more, and then it will go real nice into there. I think the ears are going to fall off in a minute. Okay. Now what we're going to do, come here, sweetheart. Don't take too much height off the top. If your dog's got a short neck, you want as much height on this top knot as possible. Did you guys get the basic idea? Yeah. Obviously, a lot of poodles we have on the grooming salon don't have all this neck hair, so we do a lot of lamb cuts. I know in the school I work at, a lot of our dogs are shave-offs with the correct head and the correct towel on. And when we're teaching, if I can send a student out for 4 weeks knowing how to do a good shave-off and put the correct head and towel on it, I'm happy because you can only teach so much in 4 weeks. I mean, in reality, if you look at your career, I've been grooming dogs for 4 years now. I'm 36, but 27 years, and you constantly learn. And in your career, you'll find that you'll be the very, very best in your career, and then you'll come back to reality because I teach for a living, so my grooming is not half as what it used to be. Because I'm doing a foot here and a leg here, I'm not grooming the whole dog. Okay, so, and I say to groomers, when you're competing and you're a winner, you better quit a winner. Because if you keep on competing and, then you'll start seeing people beat you, then you'll be recognized or remembered as a person who lost the last show and didn't win the last show. Do you understand what I mean? So I always say, when you're happy with what you've done, stop and move on because, there's more to life than, keep on, beating yourself up all the time over grooming, okay? Any questions? Oh, come on. Michaela, how come you haven't got anything to say? What? Do you want to go look at him now? Are you happy with that? So what I would do is, the first thing I would do, grow a lot more hock hair, okay? Grow more chest hair. Take this short, and in the competition, if you're in the poodle class, I know judges, and we're trying to educate judges to be more open-minded. If you use a snap-on comb on the dog, that's fine, because you've still got to scissor it after anyway. So, if you get from A to B, and it looks like a champion dog, I don't care how you've accomplished that, as long as the dog's been taken care of and loved, and the grooming's good, yeah? So, enjoy. I've got to go back to my job. Did you have a good time? Thank you.